It's time for the Codec interrogation.
We like playing video games, and when you really think about it, that's not really so strange. But you would wonder if it's why the man was put on this earth. It's time to reevaluate how much a picture is worth. You can be informed and entertained. No need to explain. Watch the review of the game. It's still gaming.
All right, this time, guys, it's a great interview. I've got a very special guest for you. This guy reevaluates what a picture is worth. This is Lee from Still Gaming. Lee, how are you?
Hey, this is Dina, a.k.a. Cybercat.
That is awesome.
Was that right?
No,
Oh.
I don't think it is.
Oh, wait.
I don't think it is. Because this time we're talking about your show.
Oh, yeah. I do have a show, don't I?
Yeah, instead of being the guy who always appears in the background, this time you're in the foreground.
Oh, I'm afraid of the spotlight. I don't think I'm ready yet.
We've got 12 of them around you. We're going to throw questions at you. Are you ready for these?
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to be broom breakers. I hope you're ready. You might want to take a breath.
Where are you going to break off the broom?
I don't want to give it away because, people are really excited to hear this right now. So they're going to listen. I want to see what snaps first.
Okay, let me just get this. Let me just go get some corks, okay?
Always a good time with you, Lee. But one thing I want to ask you right off the bat is, you've done Still Gaming for years now. What's influenced you to keep going?
Oh, man. To keep going or to start? There's
Both.
just so many different things. I have several influences. All right, I'm going to start all the way at the beginning. And we go way back. Like, November 1999 is the origin of Still Gaming, believe it or not. There was a video game review show on the internet called The Game Room. It was hosted by Mark Bussler and Dave Crossan. They were two laid-back guys that were friggin' hilarious, and they were very, very informative, too. I mean, they were reviewing the hottest games at the time. The Sega Dreamcast that just came out, and they were just oozing all over like, oh, Dreamcast. But not only they didn't just review the Dreamcast, they also reviewed games for the 2600 Atari 7800, and the NES. I mean, I trusted these guys more than any professional reviewer out there. There were a ton of games I bought based on their recommendations. Soul Reaver, Ninja Golf, Bionic Commando, Hydro Thunder. I mean, Mark and Dave, they managed to make 70 reviews in just a little under a year, and then their show got canceled. It was 2000, and the big thing people remember from 2000 is the dot-com crash. And the Game Room never made a dime, so they got canceled because they were losing a whole lot of money. So that's it for 1999. Let's go all the way to like October 2006. YouTube is finally becoming a mega force. I started looking around on YouTube for game review shows that were similar to the Game Room. Positive, funny, informative, just regular stuff. I don't find any. What I do find, though, are a bunch of kids making angry reviews, just screaming at 8-bit games that are twice their age. For every one positive review I watched, there were 100 angry reviews. Back then, the only people that were good at doing angry reviews were James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, and that's it, James Rolfe. I just got fed up trying to find a decent quality positive review show, so I just decided to make one myself, even though I knew it was probably going to be bad, because I had no experience. I just grabbed a crappy camera, a headset that was falling apart, borrowed a capture card, and one afternoon, I put together my first review, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I just had no experience, no training. I didn't take any classes or go to film school or anything like that. This was the first video I ever produced. I never even shown my face on the internet before. Now, the idea for the still frames, it wasn't really anything clever. It was just a simple fact that I didn't have a camcorder. I just had a camera. I was poor. I really was. That was when I got the idea to call the show Still Gaming, since I was looking for something catchy that would have a double meaning, and I just taking stills. So, but the review, Budokai 3, was actually a parody of the angry reviewers at the time that thought they were hot stuff because they had like 1,000 subscribers and the ability to drop 80 F-bombs in 6 minutes. I acted like I was the best, all while wearing a shirt that said Crab Trap on it and making an ass of myself the whole time. I mean, it was just a really silly review, and my goal for the entire week was to get 40 views based on what I saw other reviewers getting. I would be lucky if I got 8, but instead of getting 40, it got 1,000 views. That's a hell of a lot for a week back then, especially for 2006. I just decided to make a series out of the thing because that was really crazy. My fiance Dina, which all of you know is Cybercat, has been a big help all this time, taking the photos, messing with images in Photoshop, and just being there for moral support. Well, I mean, it was all fine and good, but around April 2007, the show had to go on a very extended hiatus of just about a full year due to personal reasons, and the fans were surprisingly very, very supportive and patient. My biggest fans, though, were the kind folks at PBC Productions, the creators of the New Adventures of Captain S. In July, they offered to make some guest episodes for me. Yeah. Brett Vanderbrook, as many of you know, as Captain S, and Chad Williams contributed some great reviews, but the first one was made by this sweet girl that I never talked to before named Z, Lindsay Briggs. I didn't even know she was going to make an episode. Her review of Food Fight for the Atari 7800, it just really lifted my spirits. In October now, that's many months later, without any notice, PBC puts out a brand new video game review show on YouTube called Little Miss Gamer, starring Z. When she told me in January 2008 that Still Gaming was the inspiration for her to create Little Miss Gamer, that is when I started to realize that I've really got something special here that's going to waste. It's just not doing anything with it. So when I started Still Gaming way back at the beginning, I only had 2 goals. One was to inspire others to create their own positive review show, and the other was to just entertain my friends. I almost gave up on Still Gaming just due to the personal problems and everything, but Z is the main influence for me restarting the show in 2008. Without Z, I wouldn't be on Channel Awesome at thatguywiththeglasses.com. I wouldn't be doing our podcast, The Lee and Z Show, and I wouldn't have the large number of followers on YouTube I have today. Without the Little Miss Gamer Show, I don't know where I'd be right now. So I owe Z and PBC Productions a lot. So the Game Room was my inspiration to start Still Gaming. Little Miss Gamer was my inspiration to continue Still Gaming. And for those interested in the Game Room, Mark actually launched his own show on YouTube called Classic Game Room HD, which has just about 800 reviews and 30,000 subscribers. He's no longer cracking open a 40 during a review or fighting Magneto's cross-dressing cousin, but he's still the most prolific and consistent video reviewer for games in the history of the internet. Mark also has most of his reviews from 1999 to 2000 on his channel. Just check that stuff out. I'm just so glad that he's still around and Little Miss Gamer show's around. Still Gaming is going stronger than ever. That's basically the short version of the history of the show.
Excellent. I couldn't ask for more. That was a great history. And it taught me a lot I didn't know. And I'm sure that all the listeners right now have learned a lot. Next one I want to ask you, I've actually been in the same room with you. I've seen this. I've taken a picture with you before. You come up with all of these amazing poses just right on the spot. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. How do you do this? Where do you get the influence and do you practice it?
I just do it all on the fly. I do not practice my poses, especially like when I do it live. I mean, when I've had to do it in person, somebody says, do a pose. I just randomly freeze. I didn't think of anything. Now, lately, in most of my videos, I've been writing down what poses I'm going to do, but I don't do them until right when we take the picture. I don't practice anything. It just all comes. I don't know what I'm doing. So if you thought I was really being creative, it was all just dumb luck each time. When I was, I mean, you were there for MagFest in 2009. You weren't there for MagFest in 2008 when I looked really weird. It looked like one pose, it looked like I was a waiter trying to serve tea or something. I was just awful. So yeah, you caught me at very, very lucky times. I don't practice these poses.
They definitely could have fooled me.